What's up, everybody? I'm Rob Kimmons, JT. Welcome to the Rob Kimmons vlog. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between being hurt and being injured. Recently, the reason why we're going to go over this is we were talking about people pulling out of fights and stuff over stupid reasons. So, anyways, that'll be another vlog, but this relates to it. Okay, so first off, let me just say the difference. Okay, if you train, 5 days a week doing MMA, you're going to be hurt a lot. There's going to be times your muscles are going to be sore. You're going to have bruises, contusions. You're going to have bumps on you in places. There's just going to be overall soreness, tenderness. Okay, that's not the same as being injured. Okay, you have to know the difference, because if you have a fight coming up, and say you're fighting in 3 weeks, and you're sore, well, guess what? That's normal. You're going to be sore. You got to keep training. Okay, now if you're injured, then that's time to start assessing the situation. If you're so injured that, because there's also varying degrees, you know what I mean? Like, let me use my own self as an example. Okay, I remember years back when I was a young pro fighter, I was getting ready to fight Marvin Eastman, okay, and it was a giant fight for me. It was a world title fight. It was going to be on TV. It was going to be in Vegas in a huge casino. I mean, it was a big deal for me. That was it was probably the biggest fight of my life up to that point. So I was training like a madman, okay, training harder than I'd ever trained before. Well, I remember about 2 weeks before that fight, I was going with a guy in class, and I said, I'm going to be going, I won't do offense. I just want to do defense. So throw punches at me, because he was a newer guy. Back then, we didn't have as many fighters as we do now, And so I had a newer guy throwing punches at me, and I was trying to slip and, block and stuff. And I told him, I won't throw at you, but I'm going to feint every now and then. Well, he's a new guy, and I feinted at him, and he got scared. He put his hands up, and he ran into me, and his elbow hit me right above my eye. This is the worst place you can get cut. And so it cut me all around the top of my eye. And as soon as it happened, I remember I looked at him, and I said, "Is it bad?" Because I could tell by his face. He was like, so I was like, "Oh, no, okay. Not good." And I was a lunatic back then, so I flipped out and went all crazy. But what else I did is I said, okay, time to assess the situation. Can I fight? Yes. Is this going to get worse if I keep sparring and shit? Yes. So I quit. Yeah. I quit sparring. All I did after that was I didn't even roll. It was just light drills and stuff for 2 weeks. And I was so scared that it was going to affect my cardio and stuff. But honestly, I went in, and I was pretty healthy, and I fought a 5-round war, you know what I mean? And if I would have kept sparring, kept rolling through that training camp, my eye would have split open in the beginning of that match, and I would have got a TKO loss or something in the first round. Instead, it was a 5-round war that got nominated for Fight of the Year that led right to another title shot, which I won at my real weight class, and it got me into the UFC. But if I wouldn't have known the difference between an injury and being hurt, you know what I mean, then that would have been a problem. See, because what I run into much more often is people getting mixed up, thinking they're injured when really they're just hurt. If you're sore, maybe, especially if you're starting out, of course, if you're sore, take a little time off, heal up, okay? If you have a fight coming up, it's completely different. Work through it. Now, if you're injured, assess the situation. Sometimes, another fight, when I was going to fight, I was in the UFC. I only pulled out of one fight ever in the UFC, and it was against Mike Pierce. I was going to fight Mike Pierce in Denver, and I hurt my knee, and my leg was hurt. And I couldn't train, and I thought, okay, maybe I can take off 3 weeks or something, and then I'll have a good, month of training. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm going to go in altitude. I'm going against a grinder who's going to never run out of energy, and there's nothing saying if I take off 3 weeks, my leg's going to be better anyway.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I said, I am sorry I have to pull out, but I made sure I gave them it was like 7 weeks notice.
Nice.
Because that's what you do. Have some common courtesy. I hate when people pull out the night before a fight. If you weigh in and then don't show up the next day, and there's not like somebody died or you're in the hospital, you're a coward. Okay? That's going to make some people mad. Talk about it. I don't care, because that's true.
Well, someone else is dealing with that too. There's
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like there's someone on the other side of that situation.
It's not a victimless crime, okay? Because the other man or woman that you are going to fight has been training, has been dieting, and guess what? They just went and sat in a sauna and cut a bunch of weight, and they're miserable, and they sold a bunch of tickets. Their families are coming out. You didn't just disappoint one person. You disappointed all their fans, their family, that person, not to mention your own fans if you have any.
Well, and the thing is, you wouldn't want that to happen to you if you were in that situation. You know what I mean? And just because it's amateur, people go, oh, it's amateur. That doesn't matter. It's still an agreement you make with someone.
Hey, and that goes for the fight promoters too, because that happens too. If a fight promotion just decides a couple weeks out that they aren't going to throw a show, then shame on you. You're terrible.
Definitely.
Okay, I mean,
courtesy.
I've had to move. I have thrown a show and had to move it, and moved it a couple months. But I gave everybody a couple months notice. If you just tell people, hey, we're fighting on the 7th, and on the 6th you decide, hey, guess what? We're not going to. Shame on you. You're a terrible person.
Yep.
So, well, hopefully we covered a little bit of that. I think we kind of got off on some tangents, but that's okay. You guys have a good day. Follow us on PerseveranceMMA.com. That's our website here. Also, we have Perseverance MMA on Facebook. Rob KIMMONS on Facebook. John Thane on Facebook.
Rosedale Reaper or Rob KIMMONS.
It's Rob KIMMONS
Rob
on
KIMMONS
Twitter.
on
also.
Twitter. Follow us. Send any questions you guys have. Any comments privately. I might cry if I read them and they're mean about me and all the talking I do.
If they're mean about him, send them to me.
You might enjoy that too much.
You guys have a good one.
I'm going to get it.